minerals per patch. Same thing for Chumbawamba here. Now these rocks are going to threaten to go down for the X base of actually Pink Ghost, and this is actually pretty good because the 4th base from Chumbawamba will most likely be up here since this has been barely mined. You can see more than 1,000 minerals on all these patches, so well worth it for Chumbawamba to actually take this base. And it is going to be the easier base to defend. So if these rocks actually go down without Chumbawamba knowing he could counterattack, Protech could actually counterattack quite easily up here. Mad Winner saying, is Infestor any good in 2v2 or is Spire a lot better? Protech, the professional, knows that Spire is a bit better here simply because 2v2 games tend to be a lot more split up, killing a lot of Harvesters here. And these Lings unfortunately will all go down, but I think that the damage was, that was a good trade actually. Killing a lot of workers here. Unfortunately we don't have a worker killed tab in 2v2. Repositioning all these spine crawlers will prevent a fast push from their opponent or any kind of counterattack. Protech now taking his 2nd base. He is up to Lair Tech. His partner, where is that Spire? Did he throw down a Spire? Yes, he did, as well as an Infestation Pit. Not using it quite now. Still not going into Hive, not getting those upgrades, not even producing a single Infestor, so a bit of a blunder. He could have actually had that Spire up a bit sooner if he skipped on that Infestation Pit instead. Not too big of a deal. I'm curious to see the army tab 127 to 87 and 54, so you can see that these one stray overlord from Pink Ghost will come and scout this. Nice use of the rest of the overlords right now. Might as well, since they have nothing else to do, just scout anything that you can in the map. And this is actually going to be so dangerous by Chumbawamba. His army has to stay together, and he will not be mobile compared to these Zerg armies. Actually, they will be able to surround a lot more, counterattack everywhere, and mass expand. I mean, I doubt that Chumbawamba could actually prevent an expansion from going to the gold base or even up here, because it is so far away from his base. If he actually decides to attack one of these bases, a stream of Lings could just walk into his main base, one Archon being even produced by Chumbawamba. Now, Mad Winner saying that Protech should control these mutas, and I was going to say, mutas are so good in 2v2 because everything is going to be all spread out. And that is the force of the mutas. Basically, this single Protoss that is left in this game cannot afford to go Phoenixes. He needs that huge ball, or else the 2 opponents can just straight push and there will never be enough Phoenixes to lift off and counter all these roaches. And Phoenixes are such a heavy investment that you cannot counter the mutas with them, so he will have to just stick to Blink Stalkers. And even the Blink Stalkers, despite their huge mobility, they are no match for the mutas, and these mutas can actually counterattack and just harass, keep the Protoss player on 3 bases, while these 2 Zerg players can just mass expand everywhere. And I'm surprised that a 3rd base from either of these players is not up as of yet. You can see Mad Winner does have a bit of resources. He could maybe afford an expansion right now. And he is getting his Hive, so we might be seeing Broodlords, we might be seeing Ultras. I think that Protech, did he even get +1 for his melee attacks? I don't think he did. But if he did, that would be a good choice to actually go Ultras for Protech and Broodlords for Mad Winner. But now that he did not get that +1, finally Mad Winner is actually getting an expansion. I would have considered these gold bases though, because actually, these gold bases, if they get attacked by this army, can just counterattack so easily. And I think that Protech could actually go for an expansion himself up here, would be very good. Remember, the Protoss is stuck on this base, especially with these mutas. If he walks out, counterattacks by the mutas, by Lings, by roaches, everything is so mobile by these 2 Zerg players that he is going to be stuck on these 3 bases for a while. He is going to be able to max and remax from these 3 bases because he still has a lot of minerals from these two mining bases left. He is now getting his 4th base, and these rocks are still up, so as Protech thought, this is going to be the 4th base. Unfortunately, he did not manage to break down these rocks with the links. He had to do something else. He will force a cancel in this Nexus, and that is not that huge, though, because he is not even going to force a cancel, because these 2 mining bases are actually fully saturated, fully functional, and there's going to be barely enough probes to saturate this. It is good not to force a cancel, though. That is a few minerals that you save and a bit of mining time, because the nice blink up here by Chumbawamba, losing a few Mutalisks. Protech not getting the perfect control. Finally, these 2 players are expanding to the gold base, so this is the max expansion that we will start seeing. As soon as these bases are functional, they will be able to expand down here at the top left side actually of the map. I still think that this would have been a great idea sooner, because this is so far away from everything. There are not going to be any counterattacks up here, or even if the army pushes up here, it makes his base so vulnerable, so no way that he would actually be able to attack this base. It would be very safe. And now these armies are actually starting to get pretty scary. Still no greater spire here by Mad Winner. He is getting instead crack for his Ling, as well as the Ultralisk upgrade. I actually never knew the name of this. Shittiness plating, or shittiest. Small engagement here, not a good place to engage by Mad Winner. Chumbawamba does decide to pull back, because if he actually walks in here, he could get sandwiched by Protech. Little does he know that Protech's army is very, very far behind. A few infestors here to deal with that mass Colossus play. He will need a lot more infestors or broodlords actually to deal with this. A few fungal growths could actually be so good, as well as mind control on these Archons, and Colossus would be very, very effective at this point. These roaches gonna burrow and try and regen their energy. Meanwhile, Protech does not have burrow of his own. He does have burrow, but not deciding to regen these roaches just yet. These gold bases are now up and running, and this is when it's going to get dangerous for Chumbawamba. These mutas are still being active across the map. I love this by Protech. Remember, he is the one controlling these, and he is always being a threat with these mutas. But now that there are enough cannons in the main base, Chumbawamba will decide to engage here, and Protech really needs to bring his own army here, because no way that Mad Winner can take this, and that is not going to happen. Unfortunately, this base is going to go down. They should counterattack at this point, because especially Protech with all these Lings, just send a few Lings in here, can completely deny the 4th base and even kill off a lot of stuff at the 3rd base. And mass expand behind this. This army is very slow. It will have to wait for those Archons and Colossus to actually move. And Chumbawamba deciding that this is it. He has to push out because he is max. His resources will just gather up from now. He should be throwing down a lot of gateways. You can actually see that is so many gateways. That is 12 gateways in the main base, so he can warp in 12 units at a time. That is almost like a Zerg. He will be able to remax so fast. These Archons are going to do so much damage to the Lings. Nice surround here on the front Stalkers, but they will be able to blink back into the Colossus. A nice Baneling drops a bit late here. They will be able to actually avoid this if Chumbawamba has good control. And this is so intense. So 2 Overlords dying in front before being able to drop the Banelings. Nice drops, getting all these units in the red, killing most of these, and that is going to be game for Chumbawamba. Not seeing those drops, he could have actually microed that a lot better and prevented those drops from going down, but this is going to be game. Chumbawamba has no army left. You can see the supply is now 114 to the 175 on one Mad Winner, plus 85 from Protech. He is going to reposition his spine crawlers in the middle of the map, and this is just going to do so much damage at this point. Mad Winner decides to morph in a single Broodlord just to punch through this wall, but I think he even has enough to take this down. 3-2-1, so nice upgrades actually by Chumbawamba. Looks like a Korean face, says Mad Winner. I guess he meant this TT face. And then a wall of crawl actually being thrown up by Protech Protech to guard his gold base. Not necessary, but why not? This will prevent any kind of counterattack. But now Chumbawamba is actually stuck in this position. He cannot move out because half this army could take care of his entire army. And actually gearing up for a counterattack, Protech will finally take down these rocks. And these roaches should actually move forward, rejoin with this front army. 4 broodlords actually going to start hacking away, and this is going to be so powerful. If these stalkers actually blink up here, they should engage before these reinforcements get there. This is a small blunder by Protech and Mad Winner. This is going to get completely destroyed here, and if this army actually joined up with the roaches, it would have been a much different trade. This Ultra should attack because he is going to get picked off. A few roaches actually walking across the map and not doing any damage. Huge blunder here by Mad Winner, and now it's 168 to 156 supply. So really, Mad Winner not engaging properly, not keeping his army together, got caught half his army. Finally, Protech getting this top base here. Without Colossus, though, he cannot really engage this huge wall of Spinecrawler. So finally, this is going to be useful. He is going to pick out this Overlord, and finally, Protech, this base will be forced to cancel. That opens up a nice counter-attack path. A few stalkers will prevent these lings from actually walking inside the main base. These roaches could have actually done huge damage to the second base, but they will decide to stay in position here. Might Chumbawamba actually move up and try and destroy this wall of crawlers? These broodlords will be very useful. Blinking forward, these overlords are in great position right now. They cannot even blink back, and these baneling drops are going to do huge damage. Look at this. Look at this army will just evaporate, and still not doing the best job on these baneling drops, enabling these stalkers to actually blink back. But still, that was enough. You can see now the Mad Winner is remaxed. The Protoss Chumbawamba is now 148. They are pinging that 4th base, and that's where they're going to hit by these 2 avenues. Chumbawamba is forced to retreat to his main base. He will not be able to hold this. Our Protech and Mad Winner, Team A, will actually have the high ground here while these stalkers move up. They could actually position the roaches up here and just take these out as they walk up. Chumbawamba does manage to walk up the ramp and get a nice little surround here. A nice concave, I mean. Not surround, concave. And the roaches will fall back to the broodlords. The broodlords will keep doing huge damage, and this is going to be good game. After these stalkers are dead, this 4th base is going to go down. He is going to be mined out from this 3rd base. Actually, focusing down this nexus could be a good idea at this point. But it doesn't matter. This stalker army will evaporate, and now he should actually focus down this nexus, because without that nexus, it is good game. That is his last mining base, and there's no way he can remax after this. Warping in of 14 stalkers right there might actually be able to hold this. These broodlords in the back, though, are going to start doing a lot of damage. Mad Winner saying you can't go wrong. Massive roaches. That is not very true, because storms can actually just destroy roaches. These broodlords now are going to do huge damage. These stalkers are not going to be enough. And this nexus, as soon as it goes down, it is going to be game. This is the last breath for the Protoss player. Chumbawamba is actually desperate right now. He needs to blink forward and kill these broodlords before that base goes down. It is gonna go down, and even if he manages to kill this army, it is not gonna be enough. He is now not mining at all. Nice counterattack here by Mad Winner with the Lings. Not gonna do much because this base is already out of minerals. Protech now getting his top base. Pink Ghost GGing out of here. Pink Ghost that hasn't been active. I guess he microed the units. He could have actually helped Chumbawamba position his forces better down here, but that is going to be GG. Protech and Mad Winner will win the 2nd game. Hope you enjoyed this cast, guys. I will be casting more 2v2s if you guys like them, and casting pro games as well, so tune in for that.